Have you ever wondered why some people grow older, but seem to grow stronger, lighter, even happier with time? It's not luck. It's not just good genes. It's how they live, how they move, how they eat, and most importantly, how they think about aging. Welcome to Healthy and Happy Seniors, where science meets wisdom and small choices lead to big changes. In today's video, I'll walk you through 5 life-changing principles backed by decades of medical research and stories from real people. I've cared for principles that are helping older adults everywhere move better, eat smarter, and live with more joy. We'll cover everything from how eating just a little less can add years to your life to how joyful habits are more powerful than any pill. This video is packed with insight, so please watch all the way through. Every section is a piece of a larger puzzle, and I promise the full picture is worth it. And if something in this video speaks to you or reminds you of someone you love, leave a comment below. We read every one, and your story might help someone else on their journey. Don't forget to subscribe to Healthy and Happy Seniors and tap the bell so you never miss the tools your body and your future deserve. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment number 1 below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's begin. Section 1. Eat less, live more. Let's begin with something deceptively simple: how much we eat. In much of the Western world, we tend to measure a good meal by how full we feel. But in Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the world's longest living people, they live by a different rule: harahachibu. It means eat until you're 80% full. I remember a clinical exchange I attended in Naha years ago. A 94-year-old woman served me a modest lunch: miso soup, a small piece of grilled fish, and a bit of sweet potato. After we ate, she packed up the rest and smiled. "I leave room for tomorrow," she said. I'll never forget that moment. There was strength in her simplicity, and science backs it up. When we stop eating at 80% full, we reduce inflammation, protect our organs from overwork, and support better mitochondrial function, those tiny energy producers in every cell that keep us going strong. Let me tell you about Martha, one of my patients. She's 67 and had battled IBS for decades. She ate healthy by every modern standard, but always finished her plate. I suggested she try the 80% rule. Within 2 weeks, her bloating improved. By 6 weeks, she told me her energy was steady all day, and that dreaded afternoon fog, gone. She said, "I didn't know I was overeating. I just didn't know how to stop." So here's my tip to you: slow down when you eat. Put your fork down between bites. Pause halfway through and ask yourself, am I still hungry or just used to finishing my plate? It's not about restriction, it's about awareness. And for many, it's the first step toward better aging and brighter days. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment number 1 below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Section 2. Plant proteins that power the heart. In America, when we think about protein, we think steak, chicken, maybe eggs. But in some of the world's longest living communities, it's a different story. In Japan, particularly Okinawa, plant-based proteins make up the majority of the diet. Tofu, natto, miso, and edamame aren't just staples, they're medicinal. These foods are rich in isoflavones, which help lower inflammation in the heart and deliver high-quality protein without the risks tied to red or processed meat. Now, I'm not asking you to give up meat entirely, but consider this. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, adults who ate tofu at least 3 times a week had a 25% lower risk of cognitive decline and a 30% lower risk of heart failure. Let me tell you about Samuel, one of my patients. He's 72, sharp as a tack, but had long struggled with blood pressure and fatigue. He told me he avoided soy too processed, he'd heard. But with a little guidance, he added tofu stir-fry on Mondays and miso soup on Fridays. That was it. 2 months later, his systolic pressure dropped 15 points, and he told me, "Doc, I'm not crashing every afternoon anymore." From a medical standpoint, soy proteins help lower LDL cholesterol, protect bone density in postmenopausal women, and act as prebiotics, feeding the good bacteria in your gut. My advice? Start small. You don't have to go vegetarian. Just swap out 2 meat-based meals per week for plant proteins like tofu, lentils, or black beans. Your heart and your future self will thank you. Because it's not about eating less. It's about eating smarter. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment number 1 below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Section 3. The forgotten power of fermented foods. These days, probiotics are everywhere: pills, powders, drinks, promising better digestion and more energy. But if you're still feeling bloated, sluggish, or foggy after all that, you might be missing the real key. In Okinawa, where people often live well into their 90s and beyond, fermented foods aren't a supplement, they're part of everyday life. Think miso soup for breakfast, natto with rice, pickled vegetables on the side, and even fermented seaweed. These aren't fads, they're traditions, and they're powerful. From a medical perspective, these live, cultured foods do more than ease digestion. They support immune function, improve nutrient absorption, and reduce inflammation. But here's what excites me most. They influence the gut-brain axis, helping increase serotonin production, which supports mood and mental clarity. Let me share Linda's story. She's 70, full of life, but had been feeling off-bloated, tired, foggy. She'd spent hundreds on probiotic capsules, but nothing seemed to stick. We made one small change: warm miso broth in the morning and a side of kimchi with lunch. That's it. Within 3 weeks, she told me, "It feels like I replaced pills with life." Her digestion improved, her energy returned, and her mind felt clearer. My doctor's tip: start simple. Stir 1 spoonful of miso paste into warm, not boiling water for a morning soup. It's comforting, easy to make, and full of living cultures that your gut will thank you for. Fermented foods aren't just healthy, they're alive. And sometimes, bringing a little more life into your gut can bring a lot more life into your day. So before reaching for another bottle of capsules, ask yourself, what would your great-grandparents have eaten? The answer might just surprise you. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment number 1 below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Section 4. The sweet carb that extends life. Carbs have become the villain in today's nutrition headlines. Especially for older adults dealing with blood sugar issues, the message is often, cut carbs, cut carbs, cut carbs. But what if I told you there's one carb that might actually help you live longer? In Okinawa, home to one of the highest concentrations of healthy centenarians, purple sweet potatoes are a dietary staple. In fact, they make up over 60% of daily calories for elders there, and it's not a coincidence. These vibrant tubers are rich in anthocyanins, natural compounds that protect blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and support brain health. From a clinical standpoint, anthocyanins improve vascular function, while sweet potatoes themselves provide steady, low glycemic energy. They don't spike blood sugar the way processed carbs don't. They actually help your cells recover and repair. Let me tell you about Robert. He's 69 and pre-diabetic. He had cut out all carbs, thinking it was the safest route, but he was constantly fatigued. I asked him to try something counterintuitive, just half a cup of steamed purple sweet potato with his lunch. 2 weeks later, he came back smiling. His blood sugar had stabilized. His cravings in the afternoon were gone. He told me, "I was starving my energy and didn't even know it." My tip? Steam Japanese purple sweet potatoes. They're softer, sweeter, and more nutrient-dense than the typical orange kind. Add a pinch of cinnamon for taste and blood sugar support, and you've got a smart, satisfying carb for midday energy. Sometimes the key to longevity isn't cutting more, it's choosing better. Don't fear the right carbs, especially not the ones that have helped people thrive into their 90s and beyond. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment number 1 below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Section 5. The rhythm of joyful living. The most powerful medicine I've seen in my 30 years of practice isn't a supplement. It's not even food. It's joy. And the rhythm you build around it? Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, one of Japan's most respected physicians and a symbol of longevity, didn't just live into his 100, she thrived. He taught classes into his 90s, climbed stairs every day, and made time for fun. He didn't obsess over calories, he didn't micromanage meals. He just moved with purpose, connected with others, and smiled often. And that's the lesson. Light, consistent movement beats occasional intensity. Joyful habits are stronger than restrictive ones. Living with purpose will always be more healing than chasing perfection. Let me tell you about Marie, one of my favorite patients. She's 71 and used to track every bite she ate. Every meal was a calculation, every step a punishment. And it was exhausting. So, we tried something radical. Less control, more connection. She started walking every morning for 20 minutes, no pressure, just rhythm. She slowed down at meals. She started having afternoon tea with friends twice a week. Her labs improved, but more importantly, so did her smile. For the first time, she told me, I stopped fearing food and started living. If you found this video helpful, leave a comment number 1 below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Here's my doctor's tip. Build rhythm into your day. Walk, breathe, laugh, share meals, take joy seriously. It is medicine too. Because health isn't just about the body, it's about the heart, the spirit, the little things that make each day feel full not of food, but of life. And that, more than any nutrient, is what keeps us young. We've covered a lot today. From Okinawan traditions like hara hachi-bu, to the power of purple sweet potatoes, from the forgotten magic of fermented foods, to the healing rhythm of joy. And here's the truth I've learned after 30 years in medicine. Longevity isn't built on perfection. It's built on rhythm, on kindness toward your body, on simple habits, repeated with care. So, if you've ever felt overwhelmed by health advice, if you've been told aging has to be hard, let me tell you, it doesn't. You just need the right tools and the courage to start. If this video helped you, leave a comment below. Tell me, what habit will you try first? And share this with someone you want to see live longer and live better. Be sure to subscribe to Healthy and Happy Seniors and turn on notifications. We're building a community here of strength, science, and joy. Because growing older isn't the end of vitality. It's the beginning of something wiser. Until next time, stay well, stay hopeful, and stay young at heart.